slip. Yes, sir, that's it. Cons in here, stop goes to that high. So what you just seen in the beginning was the live trade I took on my YouTube live stream yesterday with the community. If you don't want to miss out on my streams where I literally break it down, trade in front of you my capital, then hit the ring bell notification on my YouTube so you will always get notified when I trade, when I'm live, or join the Discord. Link is also in the description because I will announce there when I'm live, either London or New York. Right? But enough said, let's dive into it. Let's break down my live trade and the whole process, what I was looking for and how it ended up, right? So in the beginning yesterday, we had, of course, these big consolidation, right? Not very sexy. You got, faked out multiple times. We're creating equal lows down here and we're rating it. I was expecting to be actually going already to data lows, right? To 830 lows. And then this just displays up again. That's where, I waited for the 1050 to 1110 macro and let's see how it plays out, right? You can already see we're creating that high and that is currently that SMT with ES and we are entering right here the macro. So I'm marking out already currently on a 30 seconds the change in state of delivery where we need to go through and displace, and let's see what happens. So we're bouncing around and then boom. This displacement candle was for me enough where I then said, okay, I'm going to put in limit order at the first presented fair value gap on Friday, right? So basically entered over here with my first contract, bang, and my stop gone above this high here. And then my first target was data lows and my second target was London lows, right? So around a 4.5 hour trade overall. So that was my first contract where I went in. What happened? Next candle tags me in, and then the next one will just show me nice continuation, rejection from it. Let it play out, came one more time, and then breaks down. And then here it really, tested my patience, right? So it just bounced around here, and I was like, thinking, well, what happens if it bounces around and just continues ranging? But the macro, I was like, everything was aligned. SMT was there, right? We have the change in the state of delivery. We're breaking down the first percent fair value gap, right? And then what happens? We're going up here again, touching it one more time, and then we're having that nice rejection here, going to that open, creating here another order block. Actually, I took another entry here. I will, at the end of the video, I will show you the whole live trade. But I think I took here on the retest another contract in, and my stop was still there. So I ended up with two contracts, and down here, literally, if you look, one tick, yeah, it just stops one tick and doesn't go up. And I was already expecting, that we didn't go straight away through the low. I took off one contract and I lowered my stop loss to this high. Let's see what happens. It fucks around here and then it just goes crazy into the range again. I was like, oh my God, come on. And then I was still hoping that, this consolidation rejects price action. It looked like it, but really at the end, it stops me out. And look what happens, right? It stops me out and then breaks down and goes like very slowly to data lows. Bang. And that was for me, in Thailand. It was already midnight, so for me I want to get off the chart. I was fatigued. The trade, the setup looked really nice. I did take a partial down here, and the other contract got me, with $600 or something left, $400, something like that, stopped me out. I was at some point floating around 4,000, and yeah, like the whole trade, looks good, but it's what conditions are we here? It is very high resistance liquidity, right? It's not, in low resistance liquidity runs where we have these, data lows, we're having engineered lows here, we have London lows, then we mostly just expand in its place. What we are doing is we give a little bit and we give it all back, and then we give a little bit and then we give it all back. So it's very, not the best price action to trade for, but those days happening and you just can't lose your mind to it. Look, we're breaking down and we're breaking into the range again. It's not something what I want to see in perfect conditions, right? But the idea is still valid, right? We're driving him back and then we just break down. And eventually, you had to be very patient in this day, yesterday. But then eventually, come on, we're going to London lows, boom. And that was the trade, right? So, some days like this, if you know it's high resistance and you can identify this, then most of the time, put your stop in, put your take profit, and let it ride. Like, don't even micromanage it on the chart. I was obviously live in front of you guys, so for me it was, okay, what else do I do? Like, of course I manage my trade. But if I would have traded this alone, a simple rule is, if you have a good positioning, either you put really your stop at the invalidation and you accept the risk, or you put your stop loss at break even and you let it ride. If it takes you out, it takes you out, right? And if it hits your TP, your full TP, then it hits, right? Most of the time, as you see, right, it went to London lows. The idea was still valid, right? All these factors were, all valid to enter. The confluences were there, the liquidity was there. So it's just, if you micromanage it, you get faked out a lot, right? Like if you look up here, right, you might think, okay, maybe going now for these equal highs. Yeah, and it fakes you out a lot. It gives a little bit and then takes a lot from it and then still goes into the direction, in the intended direction. So again, what we learn is it is a Friday, just be nimble with your profits taking, like take your profits early or you let it ride and you just walk away. Yeah, I teach that to my students that, sometimes you just want to have the least amount of management into it, which means you're going to enter, you put your stop loss in, you put your TP in, and you walk away. Let the market do its thing. You come back in a couple hours and you see what happens. Sometimes in these conditions you can lose your mind, you're gonna get faked out, you're gonna, reverse your trade, flip bullish and then try to target this, but end of the day you end up like very in minus, blowing your account, and just it's hard to read, right? That's why better in these days you either stop or you have a walk away management strategy. Yeah. And the day was still nice. I'm really looking forward for next week. I will be live most likely 2-3 days. So join the Discord or hit the ring bell notification on my YouTube so you will never miss a 9:30 a.m. live stream. And I go also 3 a.m. New York live in for London session. Looking at gold. Gold was massive, right? Crazy moves yesterday. Very volatile. I mean, silver did what, 30% move down, dude. Like, it's crazy. From the top to the bottom, we have literally 40% down. I will show you the full replay now. And one last thing, I have still 2 spots for my one-to-one mentorship. If you're interested, hit that first link in the description. We jump on a call. I see if I can help you, if you're a right fit. If the spots are full, I will close it down. My calendar will be closed because I will be fully dedicate my time to my mentorship clients, right? So I see you next week. Good luck, good trading. See you soon. Bye-bye.